Oh my goodness, I can't believe you're actually here.
I know. I'm here. I'm here. It has happened. We've moved beyond IG to have finally having an interview.
Right. And we're both in Atlanta, but I don't go anywhere unless I'm out feeding the hungry and doing divine deliverance of the people, which I just got back about an hour ago from doing divine deliverance of the people. I do Uber. So I don't
So
go
I was
anywhere.
like, oh my, how is that working out now? I used to do shipped.
Shift. Okay, I
Shipped.
think of
So
it
it's kind of
as like a
like it's
package.
like it's like Instacart. So you do like a lot of grocery, a lot of Target. It's through Target.
I think I heard you mention that in one of your episodes that you were doing that. But yeah, people be like, "Oh, that's just so wonderful," and how did you get involved? And I'd be like, "I am not a saint. I'm means I'm delivering a platform or whatever." Okay, you're ready to actually start this.
Yes, let's get it
When I
moving.
figure out how to edit video, at one point I'm going to start putting video. I got a YouTube channel now, so at one point you might see your face up on video somewhere.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I want to do a screenshot before we actually really get started. Snipping two, where are you? Tell it new. Distant. Okay, we got a snippet. All right. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to the What Chetro Thinks About It podcast. In today's show, I do have a special guest. I've been stalking this guest for a while. She is one of my top fans. She likes everything I post. I like everything she posts. Today we have a guest, PM Kester, is the host of How to Take a Break, a wellness centered podcast that helps overwhelmed individuals recognize that they have time in their day for rest, growth, and healing. She is also the author of the workbooks I Am Open to Love and Girl, Set Your Intentions 30-Day Intention Journal. Phalia, which I didn't know your name was Phalia, okay, is a public health scientist, mother of two, and owner of PM Kester Enterprises, which houses the podcasts, workshops, and speaking requests. All right, y'all give it up for Phalia, also known as PM Kester. And
All right. I'm happy to be here.
I don't know, could you hear the clapping? Oh,
I couldn't, but I heard it, internally. I like clapping for myself.
oh, okay. I'm still working on this. Again, I was so happy because I had learned how to record what's been said on the computer on Zoom, then get on here on Riverside, and uh, it's like a presentation I did for Toastmasters a few weeks back. Had all my equipment set up, ready to work. Nothing worked.
I mean, but that's how technology is. And I think it also shows how intricate podcasting is. I'm always telling people, I think people think we just kind of plug and play, we just plug and go, but it's pretty intricate trying to be a podcaster. There's a lot of
Oh
different things
yes,
to learn and to do.
especially if you're doing it by yourself. Are you a solo or
Yes.
do you have everything? Someone else?
Oh no, I am by myself. I actually do want to get to the point where I can hire an engineer or go and record somewhere because it's very time consuming. It's a
I know
lot. It's
some
a lot of moving
studios.
spots.
I know some. Well, I did a show, conversation, candid conversation with G, and it's in an actual studio, cluster studio, and it's just so nice how it's set up. And another person, I know Jared Dam,
Yes, of
the
course.
lady he deals with Adobe Media. I know she has a podcasting studio. Look at me giving all these shameless,
All
unsponsored,
these
unpaid
plugs.
shout outs. Hey, can y'all send me a check for putting y'all out there? I know
He
that
wants some
one. And then
residuals.
yeah, I talked last week, but I pick up these people. They're like a little shack hole in the wall without the hole, and the dude would come out. "Yeah, I'm a rapper, and I was in the studio. I'm like, what studio? That studio right there. I'm like, what? I'm like, people in cardboard boxes have more walls
Oh
than
my
what this
goodness.
studio was. So it's amazing, especially Atlanta, all these studios. But like you say, podcasting is something. And like I was scared. I asked you how to do something And you taught me how to do it on the iPhone, how to do the screen record. So now every time I post something, that screen record, I'm like, hey, I have PM Kester to thank for that, which I thought your name was Pam, not Phalia.
You know, though, that PM can stand for some of anything, so it's all good. But I'm happy to help because that's the only way we learn. And I'm never one of those people to want to hog the information. I feel like each one teach one.
That's how I feel. Like I did a class on how to start your podcast. That's what went bad at the Toastmasters conference, but pulled it off some kind of way. And you taught me that. I taught someone else, and they were like, "This is the most amazing thing." I'm like, "Yes, it is." So now I got to learn how. I know they took a post that someone else posted of me, and now they have that in their stories and doing something. I'm like, I need to learn how to do that. I need to learn Canva. Oh, I just remember I was supposed to have been learning Canva for somebody today, and ooh, they'll understand.
Okay.
All right. So, as some of you probably heard, I have been stalking PM Kester for a while. I first heard you on the wonderful show of the Unestablished podcast. They are my favorite. They're my favorite. But you are holding that number. Two or three, you all are holding number two slot. I'm just digging myself deeper and deeper. But I knew
Right?
Unestablished first. I knew them first. That's why. And while listening to their show, I heard you on the show, and I've started listening to other podcasts that from people that were on that show or whatever. And right now, my podcast list is full.
Yep.
I listened to your last one, which was right before your birthday. Happy birthday!
Thank you.
You
Thank you so
turned
much.
the amazing 25.
Sure, we'll go with that.
As a lady I know, she says, "Yes, I celebrated my 29th birthday for the 29th time." Like 29 times 29, carry the one, deduct the five. I'm like,
No,
okay,
no, no.
but you turn. I'm only saying your age because you put it out there,
Yeah.
and I don't
42.
remember 42. I was going to
42.
say
Yeah.
turning 40. I don't know.
42.
You
Oh,
talked
and
me
I
to
embrace
turning.
it. Look, and I
I turned
embrace
50.
it.
I turned
And
50.
I did not know that until I saw something you posted. I was listening to an episode and then I saw something you posted. And I was like, Black don't crack. Because I didn't know you didn't. I didn't think you were 50.
Yeah, the check is in the mail.
Okay.
When I was in college, I thought, I was being all cool and stuff. This girl, you look like you're 35 with a wife and two kids at home. I was in college, no kids, no wife. I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to get your phone number, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, scratch that. Didn't get that phone number. Excuse me, 42. Yeah, 42. Yes, I turned 50 and I went. My team, the Saints, they played those Falcons, those Dirty Birds. And so I went to my first NFL game on my birthday. Enjoyed it. Got to do it again. Yeah, we both can be drinking water. That's what happens after 35.
Got to stay hydrated.
Oh my goodness, yes. So you're known for taking a break, and you've given a lot of episodes on how to take a break from this, take a break from this. You took a break from your hair, I see, because it used to be the fro.
Yep.
Then one day you show up, and I'm like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, she cut her hair, and she changed it. She changed it up." You have episodes about take a break, a lot of different ways. You've had guests on there about ways to take a break. I've listened to all of your episodes. Now I did go back and binge listen to you when I first discovered you. I try to keep up with your episodes, but because I'm not feeding the hungry anymore, that means I had more time. I can just listen to the episode. I'm doing divine deliverance of the people, so I actually have people in the car, and sometimes they want to talk to me, so I've gotten behind. I know you don't have a new episode this week, but you will have one. However, doing all that, we're here today because you made a post a while back about all these guns and mass shootings. We're both in Atlanta. We know that there's two now, actually, mass shootings, and we feel kind of the same about guns. And full disclosure, I am perfectly fine with wonderful gun ownership. Yes, I don't want to go and take somebody's gun. However, some of these automatic weapons, that's all they're for. There is to kill. You're not hunting with AK-47.
Right.
Well, what's the popular one everybody's been doing?
The AR-15.
AR-15.
Yep.
Okay, you're not hunting with that. I'm from Philadelphia. very rural Philadelphia, Mississippi. I know almost a little something about hunting. Almost. My uncle was the expert. But we're here to talk about the guns, what I call the praise the gun people. You know, and their slogan, our thoughts and prayers are with you. I'm so tired of these
Right.
people thinking and praying and not doing anything about it. So, PM Kester, the floor is yours. Give me your thoughts about guns and gun control, everything.
My thoughts. Well, I have lots of thoughts about guns, but so the scientist part, I am a public health scientist, and there was a lot of talk, especially when we were dealing with the mass murders of Black people in this country that happened during the pandemic.
I call them
There,
massacres.
the massacres of Black folk. There was a lot of guns in those conversations as well, and the fear that guns were going to be what were being used to wipe Black people out, and that it was a public health crisis. And I think at one time the CDC did put out there that this killing of Black people was a public health crisis, the police killings of Black people, and
I
so
remember
that is
that.
how I look at the gun issue as a whole, on the whole scale, from a public health viewpoint, a public health lens. I look at it as a looming public health crisis. Now, there are some interesting things. Oh, I see your 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 Shea Rose shirt, but
Well,
there's some
who is next? We'll get into that also.
yes, but when you pull up the stats, because I do love pulling up statistics, guns are actually not one of the leading causes of death on a whole. So COVID is still up there as a leading cause of death. I think it's like number 3 now. We have different cancers and strokes and things of that nature. But while it's not the leading cause of death for the general population, it is the number 1 leading cause of death for children. So kids 18 and under. That is now the leading cause of death. And I think we should be really concerned about that. That
Okay.
you have children that are now afraid to go to school, or children afraid to go out in public because they're dying more. And it's not just mass shootings. There is the homicides. So either it's a mass shooting or it's like some homicidal thing. Again, I am in Atlanta, and I do remember this might have been earlier this year or last year. Young boys got into an altercation at Atlantic Station, and the kid was like maybe 13 and got shot at Atlanta
Yep, I
Station. So
remember that.
we're seeing more situations like this. So it is becoming a public health crisis.
Yes, I remember that. And it's, I think one of the kids that got shot, he wasn't even involved. And they said it was gang activity. That's according to police. But one of the kids wasn't even in the gang. He was just there. And that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of the sad part about it. And, you hear just about every day here in Atlanta, there's a murder just about every day, killing of some sort. And sometimes you just got like, enough is enough. We know you got your thoughts and prayers, but somewhere you're thinking wrong. And I call these people the praise the gun people because they always got to make sure the gun was bought legally. And I be want to say, who
And
cares?
and
I'm gonna try not to make this episode a P-rated episode, okay? I mean, an E-rated, because listen to your episode. You don't use a lot of profanity, right?
I try not to, because I know I have some people that listen with their kids. I do try to warn, because I'm like, this is adult. We have some adult conversations, but
Okay.
I try to keep it to a minimum.
Yeah.
To a
When I
minimum.
had when I had to establish something, like, look, we're not going to try to go that route. So, and I
Look,
had
we
a
just
few
out here.
episodes. I had a few episodes. I've had to give a few E-ratings. When I talk about my favorite person, Donald Trump. And when I
Hmm.
talked about the Tyree Nichols situation, because,
Right,
and it's not, some people may take it that I'm against cops. I'm not against cops, but I want them to do right. And when they do wrong, hold them accountable.
right.
Because just giving someone blanket, um, I
A
can't think
free
of a
license, free
free
reign.
license or
Mhm.
whatever, you don't think they're going to abuse it? And you have some people that they won't convict the cop, or they say, well, he's a cop, so this is first of all, he's a person. That means he can lie, and does, and has. And just because you have a badge, and I say a 10 badge, I'm a person, superficial things don't mean anything to me. It's what the covering of God means more to me. Yeah, my church people gonna be like, yeah, but you haven't been to church in a while. Still, I believe in the covering of God. God sees everybody the same. I was raised in rural Mississippi Baptist, so I do have some. I hate to say religified, but I have some good savings for myself. But this thing with the guns, as you say, it's become a public health crisis. And I was looking up. I go to this site that I know I'm not gonna be able to find now. I know it's right here. I go to this site that tells about the mass shootings and gun violence. And I was just looking up the one in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go back through 2 pages. This is on www.gunviolencearchive.org. And I thought the Atlanta shooting would be up front. I had to go back 2 pages to find it.
Yep.
I want to see if it gives a total number of mass shootings
Because so
in
many
2000.
happen right after it. Like,
Right.
because I believe, and that's crazy, because I believe we're talking about the one that just happened in Midtown with the young man that walked into the doctor's office and
Well,
shot
that's the one I
people.
had to go back 2 pages for. Another one
Yeah,
has
and then
happened.
right after that, there was the incident in Texas, and then some other
Texas.
incidents happened.
And there's some in Mississippi I'm saying I didn't even know about this. And I think this site reports if there's 4 or more as far as
Mm-hmm.
injured or killed. On May 5th, there was one in Vicksburg, Mississippi. 4 people. I had no idea. There's another one from Mississippi, Robinsonville. I didn't even know them. Tunica Resorts. That's a
Mm-hmm.
casino. They shouldn't in the casinos now. Ohio, I had to go back 2 pages just to find the one I was looking for. And then when I go to page 1, there's been more in Georgia. I think there was another one downtown. There's one in Shreveport. My brother lives in Shreveport. Indiana, Montgomery, Augusta, Georgia. That was on May 13th. That was last week. Uh, when does it stop?
When does it stop? And then it goes deeper into like, why is it happening? Like, why are we
Well, if they're
so quick
white,
to
they
pull
had
up
a
a
mental
gun?
issue. If they're white, they had a mental issue. I'm I'm putting it out there like it is. That's how it's being reported. And I think I heard one guy. He was a white guy, newscasting. Like if this guy, if the mass shooter was Mexican or if he was Muslim, we found a way to do something. This was an older white guy. It's a clip of a news guy. I don't know exactly the name of it, so I can't give total credit for it, but that's what it is, the description. And you think about it, yeah, it would be something that was the case. The one here in Atlanta, when it happened, I text my boys. I like, yeah, mass shooting in Atlanta, and the guy's a brother. You know, I know we're trying to get equal rights with stuff, but I don't think that's the one we need to get the equal rights with. Simply.
Sadly, but I think it also goes to show you the extent of the mental health crisis in this country. And I think this, again, is tied to what we're starting to see with this uptick of guns now. And yes, we never hear about, the type of empathizing that comes with the white shooters. And in situations where it's white shooters, oh, is they mentally ill? Were they bipolar? Blah, blah, blah. And with the black shooters, it's like, that's swept to the side. But there's a looming mental health crisis. Even going up before COVID, like 2019, like 20% of the population was reported as having some type of mental illness. And then during COVID, you remember all the studies of people having anxiety issue, depression issues, and things of that nature, to where there was a poll out some months ago where 90% of people thought that there was a mental health crisis in this country. So if you look at that, and then you look at these same people with mental health issues now having access to guns to the left, to the right, and then the caliber of guns that they have access to. Because, like you said, why does someone need access to an AR-15? Or what are we going to do with who gets access to what? There's an intersection there of access and our mental health, and it's becoming a public health issue. So
And
what do
just
we
put
do
out there,
about it other than thoughts and prayers?
yeah, put out there. My son, who has a mental disability, and he understands this. He should never have a gun. He understands that, and he would, from his own words, he would never seek that. And I understand keeping guns out of the hands of some people, but it's the fact that we are solving problems with guns, or
Mm-hmm.
we want everybody to have a gun. The praise the gun people. They want teachers to have guns. My
Right.
mother was an educator as well as all of her best friends. Most of the adults in my church were teachers, or they became teachers, something like that. And some of them may have their own personal gun. But I gave this scenario: kid in a school, Um, the teacher takes their cell phone from them,
Mm-hmm.
and the student attacks the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
The teacher has a gun. She thinks she's now being threatened, and pop, 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 pop. She drops that kid. You know, a lot of
No,
say,
and
well,
I
that's
can see that happening. And I
and
can
a lot
definitely
of
see
people
that
say
happening.
that's self-defense. You know, the kid should have never attacked the teacher. But let's just say these kids now, and I tell people, look, if I was a teacher now, I would be in jail. But these kids now, they get rowdy and they just not calming down. And the teacher can't have it, and she snaps, she pulls out her gun and pop, 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 pop. And the mass shooting came from the teacher
Yep.
that you put the gun in to have to teach these classes.
It's a it's a cluster. I was never for that. My mom is also she was a retired teacher. And I tell everyone, I'm like, Marilyn McCorkle does not need no gun. I didn't want to see her or any teacher that I dealt with. Like, think of the catastrophe that could be. Because first off, are you going to be trained to handle that gun properly and shoot? You can hurt yourself, let alone trying to ward off some type of intruder. Or
Right.
what if a student gets a hold of your gun? A
Well,
student who is like the brain, most of our brains don't fully form until we're like in our 20s. So you already have a student with a
50s.
short. I'm going by the signs. I'm going by the signs. But you have these students that are already dealing with whatever issues they're dealing with, and
Yes.
and and their stuff. And so, what if that student finds your gun, and then you take
Or
that
attacks you
student's
and take it from you. Better yet.
right, and you do something to that student, and that student is like, "I got your gun, and now I'm going to shoot you with your own gun because you took my phone." A recent case just happened. It was not a gun, but it was a case. Like I think I saw it on one of the social media sites in the news like a week ago. A teacher took this student's phone. The student was cheating with the phone or had the phone out. They had been told to put the phone up. The teacher took the phone and was like, "I'll give it back to you after class." The student starts attacking the teacher, and they go out in the hallway. She still does not get the phone back. He was like, "No, you need to go to the office." She takes out pepper spray and sprays the teacher with pepper spray.
Oh yeah. See, I thought you was going with the other one, but okay, yeah, I did hear about that one.
What if that replace that pepper spray with gun? What if it was some type of gun that the student? So I think it's out of control. We don't need them in the classroom. We don't need them in half the places. Half the people that have, I mean, and I look, you have your rights. It's in the Constitution, but I also look at it as the Constitution was written during a time where we were at all these different wars, Revolutionary War, Civil War,
And
all
that's
the
what that
wars.
the Second Amendment is more about, that to take up arms in case the country. They look when they came out with that. Well, I got my guns in case we have to get the militia. I like, you do realize the government have these things called tanks. They have a bigger weapons supply. You got your AR-15. Okay, we gonna give you that. You have your AR-15, but the government has planes, tanks. They have these things. They don't even have to be near you to take you out. They have professionally trained people. Well, I was in the army. I was a sniper. Keyword there is were.
Were not,
They
and
have the recent edition, and they can just take you out without even thinking about it. Then I'm pretty sure the government has something hidden on our computer that when they want to, it's just going to be when we open our computer. So you
attention
got your
government,
you
don't do
got your
that.
stockpile of about 300 weapons. The United States of America has a stockpile of about over 3 billion weapons of people ready to just take you and your little militia out if you rise up against the government. Although it didn't happen January 6th, but they have the things that, in case you want to protect yourself from the government. And I was just listening to these people say that, and I'm like, they have to be joking. There's a joke at the end. I'm waiting for them to say, "Ha ha, this can't be the way you believe." But a second scenario, since we want to have everybody with a gun, we have a mass shooting downtown Atlanta. Well, Bubba comes up, he got his gun, he sees the shooter, he takes the shooter out. But behind Bubba is Jim. Jim has his gun, and he doesn't know that Bubba is taking out the original shooter. Jim takes out Bubba. And when the police come out, they take out Jim because they don't know who the original shooter is. So we're going to create a whole nother problem here. We may have 4 or 5 because Bubba thinks, well, I'll take him out. I'm going to be a hero. And Jim's like, I'm going to take him out. I'm going to be a hero. I'm an American. I'm going to be a hero. No one's talking about that scenario, that we're going to put a gun in everybody's hand. Okay.
I think about that often because, especially again, police violence against people that look like us. And I'm like, what if I
Well, they
am in
killed
this
a white woman
scenario?
here recently. They can't. Well, it's kind of the doctor's fault. I don't know if you saw where the white woman, the hospital called the police on her, and she kept telling them she was sick, and she was in the back of the squad car. She kept saying, "I'm not good. You need to take me to the hospital." And they did, and the woman died. I think those nurses and doctors should be held accountable there. But I guess they had dealt with this woman several times, and they just got tired of it. They really weren't testing her. And I guess if you can't afford to pay for medicine now, it's not about saving your life. It's about how much money can you pay, how much insurance do you have. And everybody doesn't have it. And we're against Obamacare, which the official name is the Affordable Care Act of
Affordable Care
America.
Act, ACA. Yep.
We're against that because the saying that was said, well, I don't want to pay for the big fat person that's eating cinnamon rolls. This lady did was a little bit overweight, but we talk about all lives are important, and then we say life is precious because your body as a woman needs to be controlled. I know I'm putting the whole thing there, all this, but out of the gun. They want to control your body to make sure that you give life, but they want to also give your cousin the right to take away life and things like that. So make it make sense to me. Scientist PM Kester.
I can't. I think we're just in an interesting time now. Things have definitely changed a lot over the past. I would say everyone wants to say it was during the last administration, but it actually started before that. You could see the shift.
About that guy, his administration,
Yes,
Trump.
yes, but you don't say the name. It's like Voldemort. But
I'll say his name. I have no problem saying his name. I just like to say a lot of different things with it, like punk, piece of something. And I'm not being disrespectful to the president. I'm just going off the things he's been doing
well,
here.
but you could see the country shifted a lot in the administration, the Obama administration, with a lot of things that I guess people thought we were more harmonious than we were, but there did become this
Wait. I only got a
harmonious.
bachelor's degree. Define that word, okay? What's
Well,
harmonious?
so and this might be a side note from the guns, but I think that we've always had issues with race and we've always had political issues in this country. But I think that we tried to downplay them and tried to act like everyone was working together and across, all hands together, shaking hands. But as we saw during the Obama administration, there was this rising level of splitting viewpoints and we had the rise of the gun issues. We had the rise of the war against women's bodies and more racial incidents and things of that nature. So I don't know if I can make sense of it. I think it's all kind of public health related. It's all part of the social determinants of health, right? Where you have the social determinants of health or a public health term, and it's like when we look at the environments where people are born, where they live, where they work, where they play, where they worship, and how that affects like their health and their quality of life. And so you have one group that thinks that they need to control that so they can live their best life and not care about what everybody else. Then you have the other group that's just trying to make it and do whatever. And so when you have that one group that's trying to run things, they're just looking out for themselves. They don't care about everyone else. And that's why you get thoughts and prayers. That's why you get not really caring
about gun people, right?
Could be. You get, the issues with women in their bodies. You get issues where when children are dying at schools and people are just like thoughts and prayers. And so what do we do? How do we remedy people being more humane to one another? How do we remedy everyone coming together with mental health and coming to a consensus on gun control in this country? Because again, it's not saying that it does not happen in other countries, because they do occasionally have shootings, but it's not happening as much as it's happening over here.
Not happening as much. And with the thoughts and prayers, again, I am from very rural Philadelphia. People hear me say that a lot. We prayed a lot in the Baptist church. I don't think we prayed that much as we're getting these thoughts and prayers now. We didn't pray that much on. Look, it's like what? It's 5:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Central Time. We would have just been getting home from all the praying we did in church. we didn't. It still doesn't amount to the thoughts and prayers we have going on out there. So
Well, I mean, it's like you said, it's the thought. We're doing a lot of thoughts and prayers because just for you to find the shooting that happened in Midtown Atlanta, maybe a week or two ago, you had to go through like 2 pages of stuff. That shows you that's a whole lot of thoughts and prayers for people that are getting shot.
yeah, yeah, it's a lot. And every time I did episodes on this when I went to that website, and I think I used it like for 2 different episodes, and it's like the pages increased. The ones this was well, we just celebrated, not celebrated. I hate to say it that way, but we just acknowledged 1 year of Uvalde,
Mm-hmm.
where the police force there, I am just totally ashamed of.
Yeah,
There was a shooting here. It wasn't Atlanta, but it was one of the counties out here in Georgia. And when I think it was Georgia, the guy was somewhere. Was it in the school? It may not even been Georgia. See, so many I can't even remember. But these 2 officers, they went in and they took the guy out. And I'm like, this is what police work is all about. They weren't scared. They know the risk when they wake up every morning. So my thoughts,
that
my
was
thoughts and prayers are with all the police officers. You know, you've heard me say some things that where some do bad. I believe in holding them accountable for what they're doing. But when they're doing right, like these 2 guys, they went in and they took that person out. I think he was transgender. He was in the midst of being
no,
transgender.
that was in Tennessee. Yeah, and that was
Tennessee.
the
Okay.
trans person in Tennessee. And yeah, they engaged. They were able to go in. The shooter still, yes, definitely killed like I think maybe 5 people, but it could have been worse.
Could have been worse.
If the police hadn't, they went in and they were just like boom. It wasn't like let's wait on. They went in and they took them out, and you're that's what they're trained to do in those situations. I mean, you don't sit there and wait and listen to kids being murdered. You go in and try to save like this. Let's mitigate the situation.
Okay. Now,
And
I
that was
hope
another
none of these
situation.
situations.
That was another situation with an AR-15.
You know, I know here in Atlanta, I had to give it to the police officer because I've heard of other situations where there was a gun issue, whatever, and APD went in. They didn't, if and though, and then they went in. I like kudos to them because they went in. And you hear all these things with all the things with police. Fresh on our mind is the Tyree Nichols situation, which was just horrible. I I have so many other thoughts on that. That something else was there involved, but we see that it's not just officers of other colors, but officers of our same color. And just here in Atlanta, they just it wasn't Atlanta, but it was one of the counties below Atlanta. The guy was in jail. They pulled him out of the cell, and the video is just horrific. And they just indicted 3 officers. Even though in Mississippi, I did learn how to count. I saw a lot more than 3 officers on this guy or around it, whatever. But they just indicted 3. So maybe Georgia's education system. I'm not putting down on Georgia's education, but maybe Georgia's education system counts a little different. But they did indict 3 people in this. They removed them from being law enforcement officers. That's where there's a problem, and you know. But the praise to gun people also has a subsidy of we're gonna always praise the cops, and we will never hold them accountable for what they're doing. So another, I guess, mental health situation possibly.
Yes, I do think so. And I know, and it sounds like a scapegoat thing, but there's a lot of people walking around with trauma, and they carry that trauma into their workplace. And I say that as someone who worked in mental health for several years. So I've been in the mental health hospital, the inpatient hospital. So I've seen the military folks. I've had the military patients. I've had teachers as my patients. I had police officers as my patients. And so you think about these people are walking around and they're interacting with your kids. They're interacting with the public. They have guns because they're police officers and they're stressed out and they leave, they get their treatment. So I think there is some underlying issues with a lot of people and we're not tapped into that. So when do we deal with these issues? So it does sound like mental health is like a scapegoat thing, but a lot of people are dealing with stuff. And so what do you do? I mean, there was a shooting, well, an almost school shooting. This was some years ago, again in Atlanta. And what stopped the shooting at this school in DeKalb County was a secretary. It was a black
Oh yes,
secretary. You remember that?
there's a movie
And
about it. You know,
and it
Lifetime
was,
now, I believe. Is
yep.
it not? Is it Tony Braxton or one of the Braxton sisters played her? I believe.
Was it? I can't remember.
I kind
I
of
can't
caught a
remember who.
glimpse of it
I
in
can't remember who
my
played
house
her
party.
in the movie, but I remember the book and I remember her interview. But that was a situation where you could definitely tell this was a hurt person. This is a person that had some mental health issues, and her quick thinking and just being honest. Kudos to that woman. Stopped a school massacre
Yes.
because she was able to talk to the man, and so I think about situations like that. And you can't talk to people with guns all the time, you know what I'm saying? Because if they come in shooting, they coming in shooting, and the best
They
that
come
you
in
can
shooting.
do is
Yes. Duck and
run.
run.
We have a training in the government called run, hide, and fight,
And there's a
where the
video out there too about
yep
what to do. I
yep
like
the
that.
active shooting training. Yeah.
I'll be the person on the news and be like, "How did you escape?" I'm like, "I was scared." I'm like, you a man and you stand up here saying you're scared? Yes, I'm a live man. I'm scared. I ran. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
where you see the little hole in the glass like Bugs Bunny cartoon.
That
Like
was
my office when I was at this other place, I used to have an office. It had a glass. It had glass leading to outside. Yes, I bust through that glass because the first pop I heard, I was scared. But I paid attention to that video. Is run, fight, run,
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 hide, and
hide,
fight.
fight, run, hide, and fight. And when I first enter a building, I do look for those situations. Always look for an out. You know, if I have to do something, how heavy is this file cabinet? What would I have to do to bust this window out? And if I had to fight, what are the voice is going there again? What are the items I can fight with? And how I really accessed it. I know when I was at place I used to work at, first day I walked in the building, okay, they're going to put me back here in the back. But the thing is, if he's coming in with a machine gun, he's probably going to shoot the people in the back first, then get the front. I need to angle my stuff this way. I'm like that. That's just me. And then one of my best friends is from Chicago. He's always talking, don't never put your back to the door. And I have to
Yeah, I
always
know a lot of
remember
people
that.
like that. Yep, I know a lot of people like that. Especially after we took active shooting training. I have a hiding place on each floor in my building. Like I
Mhm.
have a place I know where I'm gonna go, no windows, blah blah blah, that I can get to. I actually had this conversation with my daughter. I was like, if something happens while you're at school, do you know where you would go?
Yeah, I
And
kind of
we
talked
had
about
an
that
honest
already.
conversation about that. And I too am from Mississippi. I am
Oh
from
yeah,
Greenville. I'm from
I
Greenville,
was going to bring
Mississippi.
that up. Greenville.
I'm from Greenville.
Did y'all get
From
that stop sign fixed?
ah, it might have been. We'll see.
It's
But
sad that you already know which stop sign it was.
because I'm from Greenville, and then before that, I was my family is from Charleston, Mississippi, so deep in the woods. Where
Charleston, Mississippi. Where is that at?
Charleston?
Is that close to
Um,
Midnight?
it's not.
There is a
It's
Midnight, Mississippi, but
there is it. Oh, I know. Um, it is near Grenada in Batesville, so kind of Ole
okay,
Miss near that area.
okay.
Um,
Well, Grenada
but
is Grenada Ole Miss. Grenada
Grenada
is,
is like up above, but it's
yeah.
off 55. Like you hit
It's off
Grenada,
55
you
before you get to Memphis.
yep,
If you
you
go
hit
to Memphis, you got to
Grenada,
always stop in Grenada to use the bathroom.
Grenada, Charleston, Batesville, and Oxford. Because you take the
Okay,
Batesville exit to get to Oxford, and then you keep going up 55 to get to Memphis. Well, South Haven and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
But I say that
I've been through
because
Batesville.
my sister had a gun incident when she was in Jackson. She was at the Family Dollar, as we do, going to the Family Dollar. She picked up some stuff for
When
work,
you said
and
Family Dollar, I already know where she was because there's only like two in Jackson, and I know exactly where both of them are. Well, really, it's three, but I know
look,
exactly where
so,
the sister was.
look, we're picturing it, and she's in there in the back getting like pantyhose stuff like that, household stuff, and someone comes in and robs the place. Like it's an armed robbery. They pull a gun on the checkout clerk. She's in the back of the store. She jumps down. There's another employee in the back of the store. She's signaling to him, and he's like, "Can we leave out? Can we leave out the back? What do we do?" And she has never been so scared in her life. And she said, "I just kept thinking, like, I have to hide, but how can I get out and not draw attention?" And like that, her and the other employee in the back were signaling to each other. So I think when you said that you had places to go and you were looking at how to get out, she has a little bit in her now. Like if she's in certain places, she's looking like, okay, is there like a back room? Like because she's been in that gun type situation where somebody came in with a gun and robbed the store, didn't recognize she was in there, and she had to hide, and then figure out how she was going to run and get out.
Look, not only do I look like how I'm going to escape, I point out the possible mass shooters, and I make sure I make. I'm not being funny, but I do this. I make a connection with them and try to be friendly with them because you always hear, well, he was friendly to me. That's why I didn't take him out or whatever. I try to make friends with the person. In my mind, I like, yeah, this is the person you will see one day with the gun. And this is when I worked for SkyTel. I picked this person out. He was in our class, and I like, he's the one. And every day, hey, how you doing? And a situation occurred where he was on the phone talking to somebody like in tech support or something like that. And he went off. And I'm going to say it like this. He went off on a black lady. Not only did she drop that headset, she came up to that front row looking for him. And I thought she was going to take him out. And I'm calling out tomorrow. This is a real life situation. Because okay, she went off on him. And after she came up there, he was kind of quiet and everything. And then after a little bit, he left, went to the bathroom, he came back, and he went back to work and taking his calls as if nothing happened. And I'm like, okay. Thankfully, he quit soon after that. Or I don't know if he got fired or something like that, but he wasn't there too much longer after that. I don't know if they fired him for that or he quit, but he wasn't there too much longer after that. And people that worked with me at SkyTel and knew that, they would be like, I know who you're talking about. I remember that day. But yes, I try to, and I'm a very introverted person. I don't really have friends. I can count on my friends on one finger. And I know you have your application in to be my friend. It is under review. But I become friendly with the person I picked out to be the person that's going to be the mass shooter of the building. I'm that scared. I really am. I tell people I am that
well,
scared.
I mean,
I'm not ashamed of it.
Well, it is not wrong because I tell my daughter the same things. Because, when you look at the profile of most school shooters, it's a kid that felt like an outcast. And so I'm always making sure I was like, are you being kind to everyone? Because I had a situation like that in high school where this young man that I was friends with was kind of an outcast and he was an outsider and he brought a knife to school to get people. And I was safe because I was his friend. But me and someone else, we were the one who told people hey, I think something's going on. And they caught him and things like that. So I do wonder if, how we treat people. Because I've also had another situation where a coworker, kind of like some of yours, a coworker that people kind of look down on because we are elitists at our core. I don't know why people are like this. I'm nice to everyone. I'm nice to cleaning staff. I'm nice to the people that fix my food because they fixing my food. I'm not. Look, so I'm nice to everyone. And people were messing with one of these young men that was on the cleaning staff, and he brought a gun to work. And I remember sitting in the meeting. Of course, thank goodness nothing happened. They found him. They found a gun and things like that. But he brought up that because people kept coming at him and messing with him. And I talked to
a kid that was bullied in high school. But
yeah, and I talked to my staff about that, and I was like, "Well, we tend to look down on people here." I said, "I'm not saying that what this man did was wrong." I said, "But let's think about how we treat people because we never know who is going to bring a gun to work."
And most of the time, people that have done something, and you're from Mississippi, you remember Luke Woodham?
Mm-hmm. I do.
That's considered like one of the first school shootings, even though there was something before that. And the thing is, he was picked on by everybody. I was a guy that was picked on when they were telling what was happening. I'm like, I never thought about bringing a gun, and never now think because they kind of like to either take you out and kill you or put you in jail if you're the shooter. I am allergic to both. So I'm listening about how he was bullied. Yep. I do remember one time as a child in the cafeteria, I thought about taking a chair and hitting this guy. because he just kept on in high school. The high school I graduated from, when I was a senior, there was a guy. He kept pestering me, and I've talked about this on some other podcasts. He kept pestering me, just picking. I've told the guy several times, leave me alone. I'm just there trying to mind my business, watch this basketball game, and he kept on. And the next thing, I turned around and punched him, and then they dragging me out of the gym. Again, my mom was a teacher. This actually was televised or whatever. I still remember. It's been X number of years ago, but I still remember. But he kept pestering me. But I never thought about pulling a gun on him. I'm like very old school. It was like you fought with your fist, you know. And I was willing to take the
Yeah.
suspension or whatever if it came with it. I didn't get
But
suspended because again, he kept pestering me.
but that's the mental health shift, because I too was bullied in school. It's like I was nerdy, I was smart, and um,
And now it pays off. Look at you making all that money because you were nutty.
and people just found ways to just like bully me about everything. You know, we were poor, my clothes weren't the stylish clothes and stuff like that. But I never once thought about shooting anybody. I never thought, you know, I had moments where I wanted to like snap. Like I think I just screamed at somebody one time, and people just kind of, you know, the teachers overlooked it because they knew I was being bullied, and I had a fight at school and stuff like that. But I never thought about shooting anyone. But I look at how things now. I also didn't grow up in the time that these kids are growing up now, where there's so many more avenues to pick on kids, you know, to bully kids. Like they have the social media stuff, they do the doxing or whatever that crap is. Like they can just needle at kids. Like not only do you get picked on in the classroom, it follows you now. Because I got picked on in the classroom, but then I was able to go home and hang out with my actual friends or whatever. Like I didn't have like someone messaging me on social media and continuing to bully me, to continuing to taunt me and things like that. I didn't have all those avenues. So I do wonder again about how that affects the mental health of the kids. It's not justifying, you know, shooting anyone, but it's scary. It's a scarier time that we're living in
Yes.
now.
Part of the suicide rates, and it's always they were picking
Yeah.
on them on social media and just all kind of things. It's so many things. And I'm gonna put it out here. While I was doing divine deliverance of the people last night, and I hope I did some divine deliverance here. Pick up this young man. He's like, I'm in a hurry to get to my friend. She's about to commit suicide.
Mm.
You know, first thing like, have you called the National Suicide? You know, I'm just like the common. I guess I'm kind of like that secretary we just mentioned. I'm trying to be the calmest I could be. We talk about that. He tells me that, well, he's been through it before because he's tried to commit suicide himself. And from the stories you know from my son, we've been through some mental health situations where some things like that. And, you know, I'm just like, okay, well, this, you know, and even getting there, he was like, no, the GPS is not taking the right way. You need to do this. Go get on the interstate. I'm like, okay. But the GPS is pretty accurate. We're like 11 minutes away right now. This is a 20-minute trip. I'd follow his instruction, get on the interstate. That adds minutes. I'm like, you do realize that added minutes to this. You know, I'm like just following his instructions because I could tell, because I've dealt with my son, I could tell he was on that edge right now.
Right.
And I guess he forgot to tell me to get off at one exit. I'm like, well, it's taking us there. It's just that it added 4 minutes. So we get off on another exit. That kind of calms him down a little bit. You know, and he's like, okay, this. And he didn't tell me until later that his phone or her phone wasn't working unless he had Wi-Fi. I'm like, you should have told me. I could have turned on my hotspot and let you
Your
be able to
hotspot,
call
yeah.
her. Keep that. But we didn't know that till we got right up to it. And it's like, you know, I'm just telling him stuff, you know, like, look, I'm 50 years old, so, you know, this issue, it'll pass, okay? It looks bad now. And I let him know that my son has had some situation, you know, and we talk a little bit. I hope this did some kind of divine deliverance. I haven't looked at any news today to see that somebody took somebody out or somebody, but I hope it helped somewhere. And a lot of times, even if you're not the expert, and if there is, I'm going to tag this episode. If you have any mental health issues, or you know someone that has a mental health issue, please get them professional help. There is a 1-800-suicide number, nationwide suicide number. There are all kind of offices and whatever that can help you. And a lot of times, especially like when I do my son, it's the talking thing or just listening. I'm not the best listener, but like when he comes in, he tells me something. He like, Daddy, you don't understand. And then my first response is, you're right, I don't understand. Because I can't phantom trying to do suicide or phantom having an anxiety attack to the level I maybe had an anxiety attack maybe 2 or 3 times. That was because of a health scare I was having. And I was just like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. But that's just not in my DNA per se, me, as to how I would respond to something. Because I'm not going to take myself out because, one, I'm too nosy to see what happens with some of these people that do wrong with me. I want to see God's vengeance. I'm not going to touch him, Lord. I'm going to let you touch him. But I'm too nosy, and I just want to see it. So if I take myself out, and I'm not trying to be funny here, but it's the actual fact of it. Not only am I scared there's going to be a mass shooter, I'm scared to take myself out. But that's just me. And I know plenty of people that they see that as their option. And I listen to some people, and they're telling them about that, and I'm like, I don't understand. However, I'll listen. We'll bring in whomever we need to talk, let you get it all out. And something I tell my son, yeah, if you need to punch something, get your pillow on your bed. Punch that pillow. It can take it. Okay. Don't punch the walls. You put holes in the wall. Don't punch the wall. Do that. Or if you need to just walk around and punch the air for a little bit. But sometimes you just need to get it out.
Right.
And just let it do what it do. And, like I said, he was bullied too in school. And sometimes it seemed like the school was not concerned, or they were more concerned about the person that was bullying him than my child getting bullied. And that's a whole nother episode we have to get into. And I know we done went from guns to mental health and all that, but it all has the same.
It all seems like it's intertwined. Yeah.
It's intertwined. Because I worried about that young man last night. When I say you pick out the person that could be the shooter, I would have picked him out to be the shooter. Because one thing he wanted to do, he wanted to get revenge on the girl's boyfriend, because that was the cause of it all. And he wanted to take him out. Everything you don't want to do that. You go to jail. I've been in jail before. I'm like, okay, but you don't want to go again. Jail ain't nothing. Think about it. Just think about it. But you in jail. Did you really want to be there? And he just paused there for a minute. He's like, yeah. So guns, mental health, chewing gum. You say, why did I throw chewing gum in there? It's a lot of different things that equates to this. As far as the praise the gun people, their thoughts and prayers. I'm starting to think that maybe your thoughts are not the thoughts of God, and your prayers are not getting through on the prayer line, because this thing still keeps happening. These families are still hurt. And
they don't have Jesus on the main line.
Well, these praise the gun people say Jesus would have had a gun. I'm like, why would Jesus need a gun? Just think about that for a minute. Why would Jesus need a gun? Okay. Again, a lot of stuff that is said in my mindset is you coming up with some stuff that just ain't making sense here. Okay. So, PM Kester, I know I've held you too long here already, because your episodes be quick 15 minutes, 18 minutes. I try to keep mine under 30, but I know we just go on. It is such a pleasure having you here. I'm so thankful that you came. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And let me show my shirt, because I have my shirt and people be like, what's that? It says, "Who is next?" I've had that as a hashtag on one of my social media for a few years now. What that means is, whenever a person is killed by police brutality or whatever, you put hashtag their name. So it's hashtag who is next. That's what that means. I know people that saw on social media, I was like, who's going to be the guest? And I put who's next. It's who's next. But it's also what building or what school is going to be the next shooting. We hashtag all those kids. And also, which police officer, when they kill somebody like this and their past is exposed, that we've had this problem before. Who is next? But praise the gun. And your thoughts, my thoughts and prayers is out there. So to close this out, tell us a little bit more about yourself, where they can find you, PM Kester, Phalia. Wait, before we get to that, did you ever get picked on about your name?
Oh, Of course. Well, they always found a way to make fun of the name. It's
Okay.
Phalia. My mother is a
Phalia.
English.
See, my country self.
No, it's. I have been called Phalia. I have been called Phalia, Phalia. I had a teacher call me Phalia for almost like a year until my mom said something to her. And the teacher was like, "Why didn't you correct me?" And I was like, "I correct people like the first couple of times, and after that, I'm just like,
I correct people because look, I'm Rocket, I'm Ricochet, and I'm like, you can say Chevrolet, right? Oh yeah. I'm like, you know what? My name ends with the same ET, makes an A sound. It's French. I'm like, you can say crochet. Oh yeah, crochet, and yeah, I know how to do that. You know if you remove the C from crochet, you have crochet.
that's
And my
right."
mama researched my name in 1972 internet, make sure the spelling was correct. If I was going to be a boy or girl, a lot of people say that's a girl's name. It ends with a consonant, so it's a boy name. So yeah, I did want to question. Since when I saw your name, I said I got to question you about your name, and I'm
Yep.
glad you corrected me. My country self may still mispronounce it. Yes, I got picked on about my name. People gonna think I was a violent kid the way I was. I got in a fight over my name. I was actually an adult then. I got in a fight over my name. He just kept on mispronouncing it. Matter of fact, the fight in high school, the guy punched. Part of it was he kept calling me by my brother's name, my little brother's name. He was a one of the little friends of my. Well, he wasn't even a friend of my brother. They were on the
He
football
was
team
there,
together, whatever.
an
Yeah,
associate.
and he just continued to pick on me and kept calling me my little brother's name. And I'm quick to tell people my name is not either of my brother's name. My name is what it is. You either say it or you don't say it, like that. All right, I'm taking up too much more time.
No.
Close us out. What should we be take? I'm gonna go with you. What are your three takeaways? You see what I did there? What are
Are you
your three takeaways, and how can we find you, and how can we continue to be supporters? Look, support her. She has these journals. I've supported her. I bought journals for her to give
He
to
did.
my class. I've given out. I've given her some likes. I meant to. You got to buy. You have a buy me a coffee as well.
I do. I
So
do.
put all that out there. I've been meaning to buy some coffee from you. I got to go make some money first, but put all your
But
stuff out there.
you and me too. But I don't know if I have three breakaways. Maybe it's more type of one. My breakaway from this episode is that although guns are not the leading cause of death in the United States, it does not mean that they are necessary for all of us. So that's what I would say is my takeaway from that. Where can you find me? I'm kind of everywhere. My top three platforms that I'm concentrating on this year, and so where you'll see me all the time, is YouTube at How to Take a Break. So I have a YouTube channel with videos popping up every Sunday, and I also have different shorts for inspiration and things over there. So if you want to just find out more about me, find out more about some of the episodes, like get a little extra something from some of the episodes, go on YouTube and see those videos. I'm on IG, Instagram. That's where I talk to Shayra all the time. So you do that to see like my little day to day life. I also post in my stories. I focus in on love and on health. So I find different articles and things that I zero in on and just talk about how they relate to the whole taking a break spectrum. So that is good, and that's at PM Kester. And then another place that may be surprising that I'm on and I'm very active on is Pinterest, because people are very visual. So I post
I'm
stuff on
starting to
there, and
learn
I
the
have
Pinterest thing. I
it's
have a Pinterest
all
account, but I don't understand what I'm supposed to do.
right. We have to have another meeting. It's because it's very photo based, but it's a lot of people. I'm getting like a lot of views on Pinterest, so I just post videos, and so you'll see some of I'm a budding home bartender and
Really,
coffee
I didn't
barista.
know that.
So I'll post like some of my little take a break to drink things on there. I take a lot of walks and stuff for my health. I
I
have
see
had
that.
my own health scares. So I do scenes from my walk on Pinterest. So you'll see different little random things that I pass on some of my walks. And of course, I promote all of my other great things. But you get to see like some little artwork and stuff. So Pinterest is also at PM Kester. So at How to Take a Break on YouTube, at PM Kester on IG, and on Pinterest is where you can find me. And if you go to any of those places, there's a link tree that'll take you to where to listen to the podcast, how to get to my website, buy me a coffee, and all of that great stuff.
What is your buy me a coffee?
I think it is backslash how to take a break.
Buymeacoffee.com / how to take a break.
Yes.
Don't forget buymeacoffee.com/Chetro, CHETRO.
That's right.
I got to post some of the new equipment I bought here recently. I'm going to post like, okay, so buymeacoffee.com really works. I got one for somebody. I don't know if she was a first lady something or a lady something. But I gotta reach out to her. I think there's just I don't even know who this person is, and just all of a sudden you can see a coffee from such and they bought like 4 or 5. So buymeacoffee.com is the truth. I need you to teach me some of the other stuff you're doing. Like when you do the YouTube, I just started my YouTube channel, and I'm trying to figure out how to post some of my videos there. I have posted some already. I just haven't made the link. I haven't put it out there what the link is. Well, of course, it's Shayro. Look up something.
But yeah, I have to go and I'll follow it. Yeah, so I'll go look for it and I'll follow it.
Yeah, I haven't really been to your YouTube. I hear you posting, I see it, and I'm like, I haven't gotten to that level yet, but I'm getting there because I got some things I got to do with this podcast. I admire you in this podcasting world. I thank you for a lot of the help you've given me, and you are a great person to follow, a great person just to be inspired by. I thank you for coming on the show. When you posted the thing about the guns, I hit you up. I sent a message. I'm like,
immediately, yes.
Yeah. I saw that. I'm like, okay, we're both mad about this thing. So thank you again. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are a wonderful person. I've heard you on the Unestablished. I've heard you on it's not the whole damn show. It's about damn.
Yep.
Does that mean I got to give an E rating now because I said?
I hope not. Damn's in the Bible.
Well, there are a lot of things in the Bible that.
Look, that's Mississippi Christian rationale. It's in the Bible.
Mississippi Christian rationale. Okay. Wow, I really just want this to go on and on and on, but I know you are a very busy lady. I want to learn how to do that affiliate marketing too. I see that you do that. I'm dipping and dabbling in that. Because I bought some things on Amazon, so I need some people to buy those things too with my link. So
that's right. Yeah, it's a process. Yeah, we'll just have to talk. We'll have to set up a meeting and we'll just chit chat.
Yeah, we'll do that. Happy belated birthday to you again.
Thank you.
Your daughter's not graduating from school this year, right?
No, neither one. The college kid doesn't graduate until the fall, I think, is where we are now. And the youngest, I have 3 more years. Well, she's ending freshman year, so I have 3 more years.
Okay. Why was I thinking she was still in high school? But you have 2 seasons. Okay.
I have 2. Everyone, yeah, my neighbor just did that too. But so she's a little. In 8th grade, she was doing stuff. They allowed her to do stuff with the high school in 8th grade. So I think they kind of confused people. We were like, wait a second. She's only a freshman. She's only officially a freshman. Yeah.
Mine completed his freshman year of college this year. Yay, Gwinnett Tech.
That's right. Yeah, but I'm counting down. Look, I'm counting down to everyone to be.
Look, you'll be an empty nester Kester.
That's right. Empty nester Kester is happening in 3 years.
They do allow them to take summer school, graduate early.
She's actually and that's another thing. Like we're saying 3, but it really might be 2.5. She's taking summer school this summer. She's she wants to get ahead in her math, so she's taking geometry over the summer. So yeah, she's the youngest. Yeah, the youngest is an overachiever, but we like that. So
well, we know where she gets that from.
Well, hopefully something good. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's in to be smart now because the smart people make all the money. Maybe that's why I'm not making all the money. But
it's hard out here. It's hard out here for a pimp.
It's hard out here for a non-pimp. Like I say, when I see that buy me a coffee and I see how it goes, we go to my account and I be so mad because they take their little percentage and I be like, but we ain't gonna complain. Look good. That's something we didn't have before. So I'll be like, oh, thank you. Can I get a buy me a coffee for my personal?
Look, yeah.
Look, I could talk to you all day, my fellow Mississippian, Millsaps person.
That's right.
I went to the Jackson State University, where the people that went to Millsaps wish they could have went to.
Oh my, okay. It was probably Tougaloo that we wish they would go to. Never Jackson State. No.
People at Tougaloo wish they could have went. Well, my mama went to Tougaloo too. She went to Tougaloo and Alcorn. People at, well, if I know we're gonna be going on and on. People don't understand. There were no parties allowed on Jackson State campus. Jackson State was tagged a party school. There were no parties on campus. However, Tougaloo allowed parties on their campus.
They
So if you
did.
want to go to campus, we go to Tougaloo, and at 11:45, if you're not financially associated with Tougaloo College, you'll be asked to leave the premises here in the next few minutes. Or you go. We went to USM, University of Mississippi, to get parties. Oh my goodness, Q Delta Week down there, and the
Oh, so
Masonic
y'all
picnic.
y'all rolled down to Hattiesburg. No, we had a partner. Millsaps had a partnership with Tougaloo, so we did a lot of stuff with the Tougaloo campus.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. A lot of stuff I didn't know.
I don't know if it's
Well,
like still like that now, but it was like that when I was there. And I think that's who helped us get like a Delta chapter on campus.
oh, are you? I'm still asking questions. Are you sweaty?
I am not. I am not. Everyone, all my friends, pretty much all of my family is, but I am not.
Okay.
I'm just a
And one last
supportive.
question. Even though you went to Millsaps,
Mhm.
will we be seeing you in the Freaknik documentary that is coming out?
You will not. You will not. I was from a very religious household, so
So was I. My dad was a deacon, and my
very
mother
religious,
was a.
and could not get it. And I think by the time that I would have thought about going to Freaknik, but that I could have had the means to like get in the car and go, that's when they shuttered it. So I think they shuttered it like it. They phased it out right when I was going to graduate
Okay.
high school.
All my
But
friends went. I didn't get to go. I'm still salty about that.
oh, I saw some videos because I had a lot of friends that went, and
Oh, I saw
so.
videos that they count. You know, when we
But
have
if they
VCRs.
show up in the video, if they show up in the documentary, I don't know those people because those people were at Bible study with me. That's right. That's not that person. They were feeding the hungry. That's not them in the documentary.
Yeah, one of my. Well, let's just say there are some people now that are preachers that were there.
Oh,
They
everybody was.
there.
Oh, it's going to be hard, but a lot of us. I see. I know we're going on and on. A lot of us don't look like we did. Don't look now like we did back in the day. So hopefully that works for people, and so they
I
won't.
would have if I could have, but I didn't because all my
I did
friends
not go. One of my friends went. I did not go. And then they bought it. Do you remember when they bought Freaknik to the Mississippi coast? They bought it to Biloxi for
Oh
like a
yes, I
year.
remember that. Didn't get to go to that either. Then when they brought it back out here in Atlanta, and I'm here in Atlanta, didn't get to go to that one either. I've never been to Freaknik. I've never been to True Mardi Gras in New Orleans. I've been to Mardi Gras on the coast of Mississippi, and
Right. I've
some
been to the
others
Mardi
here
Gras
and
on the
there.
coast. Yeah.
But I've never been, so I'm not in any. I'm mad. I'm not in anybody's documentary.
You should be happy. You just get to watch and like look at people and be like, and then just.
That's not making it better. I'm
But
like, you mean I missed out
be
on?
safe. Mark
Well, I saw the
safe.
videos from then when they, videotape
Exactly.
it and they bring
Yeah,
it back, and I'm looking at
I
that's
saw
the
the
little girl in
VHS tapes.
class that don't talk. Yeah, I saw it live. I mean, well,
Yeah.
right after, you're like, that's the little
Yeah.
girl in class that don't say anything. She ain't got no panties on.
That documentary is going to be rough. So thoughts and prayers to everyone involved because somebody sold a VHS tapes. That's really what this came down to. Those
My
tapes are
friends
supposed to
looked
be
to see if they still
destroyed.
got their shirts. If you still have your Freaknik shirt, you can sell it for like $200-300 online. So my friends, they're all looking to see if they got their shirt.
Ooh.
I'm finna go buy a shirt from somebody and say, yeah. Oh, they brought me back a shirt for Freaknik. These sorry people didn't even bring me back a t-shirt. Now I'm even more salty. Anyway, this has been wonderful. I could talk to you all day long.
Oh my goodness.
But maybe I'll edit all this part out. This will be the extra part I edit out.
That's probably for the
I'm
best. That's probably for the
I'm
best.
probably going to. I got to learn how to edit the video. I know how to do the audio for this. I'm probably going to wake up early in the morning and edit because I got to go out and do some divine deliverance tonight. I got to take a little nap here, and I'll do some divine deliverance. So when I come in the morning, I'm probably going to edit and try to post tomorrow. That's the bad thing about me. Lately I haven't been consistent with myself. Usually I've been recording on Saturday and try to either release it that Saturday night, Sunday. This thing called life has been lifing, so.
Oh, I know because I don't think I've been doing like I used to do 2 episodes a month. But yeah, starting last year, life was life and real hard. The 9 to 5 job was on me.
Yeah.
So
So when I first started listening, I was been listening to you. Then I realized, oh, she does an episode like every 2 weeks. Okay, and then
yeah, I can't. As someone who's trying to post weekly now on YouTube, I can't see how people without if you don't have a team, how you can keep up with that consistency because it's
yeah,
hard. Like with life, you
you
got
may have to get
kids.
the new producer that's producing podcasts, our mutual friend.
Yes, I know. He has been in my inbox, and I was like, we may have to. May have to figure something out.
He wants a fee though. And I used to work. I used to actually work with him too as well.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Oh, see, now we've gone to. You might have to stop recording because we're going to a whole nother section of the. the
If you say
podcast.
I'll stop recording, I want to stop it.
Oh.